name is Kyle Stevenson, and I'm a lieutenant with the Marshalltown, Iowa Police Department. And today we're talking about an exercise that we held on July 19th at Marshalltown Community College. What we did was we set up a joint training exercise with multiple agencies within our area. And the primary focus on this was to work on our joint communication and response to some sort of mass casualty incident. This particular incident that we did our training on was in regards to an active shooter event.
Every year we're required to do a certain amount of exercises to fulfill our performance grant that we do for the federal government so that we're able to support our county, and also so that we can drill out our plans for the county to see where we have gaps or where we need to improve, or what places actually are really good and we improve on them too. But so we're required to do a certain amount. About every 4 years we do a large scale, and we did a full scale this year, obviously at the college. The reason we do a full scale is to play out each part a little more extensively, so that we're able to see where those gaps are, see where we need more training, see where we need more planning, whether we being the emergency responders or the college at this particular exercise. They may see gaps that they need to fill in or plan better for.
So the mass casualty invitation came from Chief Tupper. He emailed me probably about a year and a half before the event was going to occur, and wondered if we were interested in being a host site for this training exercise with an opportunity for us to learn. So of course we said yes.
So the scenario was an active shooter in the building, and it would encompass the initial response from law enforcement, and then it would also encompass the response from EMS and fire, and it would show how those two units could work together to try to accomplish the same overall mission. There was a couple things that we do. We try to make this as realistic as we possibly can, but that said, there's things from being a trainer, there's things that we have to take into account to try to make this a successful training operation. So with this scenario specifically, we started off by having somebody make simulated phone calls to 911, stating that they have an emergency at the college. What it starts off as is generally somebody hears what they believe is gunshots. And then a short time later, 911 gets another call that says shots have been fired and people have been injured.
Mass casualties obviously are in the news a lot. Reason being is it taxes all the resources that you have as an area. So not only are you taxing your resources, you're learning how to bring in other resources from other areas, learn how to make agreements with other counties, the state, federal even, so that you know how to bring those resources in seamlessly when you really do need them.
Where's he at? Where's he at?
That way. He's back here! He's back here! Corner.
He's here!
Where's he at?
He's back here!
Help!
Drop it! Drop it! I got one down, one down!
In most of responses like this where there's an active threat, law enforcement's going to be the first ones to respond to that scene. So for this scenario, the first shooter was inside the main entrance point by student services, and the first officers arrive and they have to come in and they deal with it.
421, shots fired, got one down.
One down, shot fired. Help!
Oh my God.
Okay, small gun.
Yeah.
Okay, come in.
Yeah.
Can you walk? Can you walk?
Back here.
Okay, can you walk?
Over here.
The plan for this training event was to incorporate some training goals and needs for the multiple agencies involved. The primary agencies for this training exercise were the Marshalltown Police Department, the Marshalltown Fire Department, the Marshall County Sheriff's Office, Central Iowa Healthcare, or Unity Point, and then all the agency, the surrounding rural fire departments and things like that were all welcome to join as well.
You tell them we're sending them out.
421, we're sending people out now.
Over here.
Come here, come here. Get up. Can you guys walk? I don't know. Help them out.
So in this scenario, the first two officers arrive into the Student Services Center and they're encountered by all these downed victims. The victims are crying, yelling for help. Some of them have actually been painted up with moulage to make it appear that they've got actual injuries. And all of this is just to add to the realism of the training event and try to make it as realistic for the officers as possible. So when the first officers arrived on scene, they come in not knowing much of anything. And when they get there, they have to start talking to people and gathering more information. In this scenario, they come in and they begin to automatically clear and searching for where the suspect is at.
648. 648.
Okay, guys, if you can, when you go out that west entrance, arms up in the air. Okay, get the arms up, make contact with the officers.
648.
Wide open room. Lots of spots to hide.
So law enforcement had their specific goals they were trying to accomplish. Then the fire and EMS side had other goals, and then there were some joint goals that we were trying to accomplish together. So collectively, we set up a scenario that could test and evaluate all of those goals for all the agencies. This was a fairly big undertaking for everybody involved. This was put on by Emergency Management.
Door to the left here, head over the clock. I got the hallway.
Lock.
Lock? Yep. The door on the left. It's open. Ready?
421, open?
Yep.
This all opens up over this way.
Nope, it's locked. Never mind. It's locked.
The reason that we set this up was to try to find out where our shortcomings are, what things we need to train on, and to try to better ourselves going forward in the future to help serve our communities. So we know going into this that not everything's going to run perfect, but this is as real life scenario as we can make it be, so that we can pick out those issues that we had, and then we can go back to our respective agencies and we can provide training to the people so that we can improve in those areas.
See, are you okay?
You okay?
Where are they at?
You
Where are
see
they
the
at?
suspect?
See, are you okay?
You okay?
Where are they at?
You see the suspect? He's back right there.
Where?
Right close. Go.
Where?
Right there in front of you.
Come to me. Stand by, stand by.
Let's make candles.
Let me make the can. Are you hurt? Okay, let's go. You gotta show me your hands if they can and get out. You get out. Show me your hands though. Hand your hands up towards us. Start coming towards us. Stand up.
Let's make this a little less.
Go this way. Keep your hands up. Make your way out of the school. See your hands. See your hands.
Yeah, it was really interesting because we knew we needed quite a few volunteers, and as I started talking about the fact that we were going to have this event here, so many people came forward and said, hey, I want to be a part of this. It was really exciting for the victim side of things because our nursing faculty were really interested in having their students be a part of being the patient end of an experience like that. So that's where most of the students came from that actually served served as the students that were in, or the victims that were in triage. The rest of the volunteers were from our faculty and staff who really wanted to learn more and help to contribute about how we could do a better job in the event that something like this happens at Marshalltown Community College.
You guys want to try and make this a license plate for wounded, because that's what we want to do? Okay. Do we want to? If you guys want to go ahead and keep clearing, I'll stay here and start assessing medical and getting clear and secure this hallway. Oh, pretty light. Can you hear me? Okay, what's wrong with you? Can't talk? What's wrong with you? You got shot in the ankle? Yeah. Okay.
All responding personnel need to check it in incident command. Correct.
The instructions for what we're doing.
Okay.
Respond to the bookstore.
Let's gather them up and get them out of here. Hey, Sheets! We got multiple people in here. We need to move them out. Come on, guys. Let's just go across the hall here. Come on. We got a couple rooms over here. Across the hall.
And we had volunteers, most of them came through the nursing and I believe EMT program at the college. So we had a tremendous response from that. It was great because we tend to use a lot more victims than we do responders, and especially in a mass casualty situation. It helps to overwhelm the system is what we're trying to do, and it's more realistic, especially in a college setting where we have a lot of people possibly in that area. We need to simulate that. So, you know, we may have a lot of people that are just, they're not wounded, but they're running, they're scared, they're in the way. When responders come, and that's what we need.
Go straight out those doors. Go. With your hands up. Go out with your hands up. Okay? Hold on. Are you guys hurt? Can you guys get out? Can you guys walk? If you can walk, go straight out away from the building with your hands up, okay?
Can you go with us?
No, I can't.
We don't-
Just go out the building. 64, I got sending about 8 water wounded out the east
I
entrance.
think we
by the
should stay
bookstore.
here. There may be gunmen out there.
Just go.
I don't think we should
Just
go out
go.
there.
Go out the building.
But what if there's gunmen out
Well, then
there?
I'll take care of it. Go out the building. Get outside.
Mr. Drill, I think they're coming east or the west side for medical.
If you guys can get a line of sight going from the west entrance to back here, that way you can just direct EMS personnel in here. Right here, you guys. Right here.
We're good to you?
Yep, we're good here.
All right, we're going to evacuate the wounded criticals.
All these are critical. They're not going to get a walk. Yes.
Cody,
She's dead, isn't she?
what do you have? Black tag.
She's dead.
Well, I'll go over by the. How many EMTs we got? Okay, spread them out. Can you hear me?
If you want to get him, how do you want to put him in the sack?
We can put him on this and just carry him.
Okay, if you want to get him off onto the ground
He's
first?
still conscious.
He is still conscious. He's got a wound to the left chest. We've covered it with the dressing.
Can somebody get But his upper half is get his upper half.
I got his upper half.
Yep, I got it.
Straight down.
Okay, since there's only 3 of you EMS,
We can drag him.
I can break free and go help carry if you need carry, because we got, all these are critical, I think, aren't they?
Okay, so what we're gonna need, drag him out back the way we came in. I'll radio him, let him know you're coming.
Do you want to go off that entrance?
Yes, there were a whole bunch of groups involved. Marshall County Emergency Services, Fire Department, Sheriff's Department, and all kinds of other agencies were involved. It was a very big collaborative effort. It really, when an event like this would happen at a college or a church or any place like that, it's going to require a lot of responders. And so this was what was wonderful about it, is lots of people got a chance to practice and see what role that they would play.
Where do you want to go? Are we secured around to the east side?
I believe so.
You can go back to
Center 101 is fire.
that's all clear and secured.
Fire traffic working and I cannot.
Send him back the way you came.
You want to see if he's got security?
Okay, let's get him up.
413,
What's that? Let's get him up the east side.
You want us to evacuate the wounded back to you or take them out the east door?
Yeah. What do we do with that? Closest to the EMS is going to be the way you came in.
All right, let's go.
So we're going to send 2 officers out with this person. We're going to stay here and help get the rest of the people out. You guys good with that?
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay. So we just carry. You can just pick up here and drag. You
Okay.
can carry her.
I'll
Pick up
buckle
here.
him in.
Follow. No, there's no buckles. Just
There's
hold on
no-
to the
okay.
handles and go.
How do we want to do this?
Okay, you're gonna have one other
Take one
person
side.
coming with wounded.
Because we're going to be fucking spent right there.
Okay. You guys going out the big cave?
Yep. So that turns it on already.
Do you want to see if we can get EMS over on this east side since it's closer?
They need to clear an area up here.
I think Skip's on the outside of the building on the east side.
You clear, Cody? All right, let's get her out.
3, go ahead. Patient's coming out now to triage.
We're gonna carry her. Do you want? How do you want to do this?
Copy.
Just in the seated position. Okay. We're gonna kind of come up. Just hold your arms across there. You gonna come out with us? Yeah. Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Coming out behind. Front.
Not yet, I haven't moved it yet, I'm waiting for the... Okay.
We can at least get guys on the front of her. She's got an exit wound. We'll roll her over. She says her legs are numb and she felt something burning in her back. That's the last thing she said to me.
Okay.
So I got guys on there.
Good.
So I check for an exit wound on the front.
I want to do that after we get a sheet in here.
Okay.
That way it's already underneath her. You can scoop her and go.
Okay.
Don't move her otherwise.
Correct. Because if the blood's starting to clot, if we move her, it could disrupt something.
Anything else we can be doing? She's fatal.
Yeah, we had quite a crew of observers stationed throughout the event, and what our job was for that was to really make observational notes as to, in the event that if we actually ever had something like this, what do we need to train people on? What do we need to be aware of? What do we need to be thinking about in anticipation of those kinds of events?
Go, Jacob.
PD has east side of the bookstore clear. We got one patient. If we can get EMS ambulance over here, we can get her out the east side. Gunshot wound, abdomen, exit wound out the back.
We passed the message to you guys. They're going to try and move an ambulance over here to this exit because this whole area is secure. We got fire units everywhere. What can I do to help you? Anything?
No, we waited for a sheet and then we'll carry her out.
Okay, can I get that sheet for you?
Yes, we're on tag 1.
Kelly, you want to radio somebody have a meeting and one I can bring them in?
We got to move in maintenance bay to the...
Let me know if you need something. I'll be right here.
We'll do it.
So the communications center will get information back from the incident commander and asking for additional resources. So whether that be fire, EMS, law enforcement, and they'll just bring those in as needed. Sometimes if an event comes to fruition fairly quickly, like this one would, you'd know that you're going to need a lot of resources fairly quickly. They'll put an all-call out, so an all-call just requesting any responders that are available, and then they go into a staging area and they're dispatched from that staging area gradually as they're needed into the scene.
Let's push this deep corner over here. I'll hold long, I guess.
Show me your hands over there. Show me your hands. Got some injured over here on the weight bench. Show me your hands. Hands. Let me see your hands. See your hands. Get your hands up. Get your hands up. Where's the shooter at? Where's the shooter? You guys see the shooter?
Where are you injured at?
Huh?
On your hand? Can you move? Can you walk?
He just come through
Okay,
here?
hop up.
Where you go? Your shot? Which way do you go? This way? What do you look like, guys?
This one can walk, guys. This one can walk. What's status on yours?
You got shot in your leg.
Can she walk?
Can you walk? No, she cannot. Shoot, you want to just hold that?
We have EMS at the main entrance. Are they close to that, sir?
You got it now?
413.
413. Good.
Got contact with several government weight What's that?
Clear.
Here's this way from the wide. Got a door. Got a door deep.
I'll cover this. You got a track that's going back, and then I can't see around the corner.
Okay. You take that and I'll cover this. Is that door open? Over here? Yeah. Okay. Down here. Stairs. Yeah. Nothing in that stairwell. It's locked. You want to hold those stairs?
Did you say they're clear or no?
Well, just the part I could see.
Should we check them quick? Just get it on.
Well, they're going to go down the other side of where he's at.
They're on the southern side of the hall here.
He's right behind that emergency. How do we get? Oh, the door's locked.
Yeah.
Clear. You going to move over to the hall and through that side?
Check that door quick here.
All right, go ahead.
Locked.
I bet you that stairway that he's on comes out right there.
How do you feel going downstairs? Not good? Okay. We're gonna have to sheet you then.
Stand up right there.
Okay.
Hold on, cops. Hold on, cops.
Yeah, we're at the top of the stairs still.
Sit down. What's that? Down there. Ready?
You gonna escort him out? Yeah. You know what temperature they're going out? Straight out. Okay.
Right, Bill? Bring it.
Got an ambulance back here or no?
Yeah, around the building this way.
Okay.
They said,
I heard gunshots and flashes, but I was thinking of you guys' lights.
I didn't put my light on there, but they said.
Have you cleared this way?
No, this has not been cleared as far as I know, except for you guys coming from the south.
Oh,
So did you guys go?
wanna go clear that? They said shots fired in the gym.
Yes.
The new gym, and that's all I heard. There was not been any.
Yeah, new gym in the south view.
That's where we were at. When they're with
They were coming up above.
Something with the leg, she's not able to walk.
You want us back in, Sadie?
Hey, I want a fire to pick her up, and we need to move her over too.
Other side. I'm like, down.
And mobile can't use legs. We're gonna go to 2.
Yeah, but you didn't get nicked though, did you? I got nicked. I didn't get nicked.
Did I?
Stealthy. I got shot at.
I'm stealthy.
The shooter? You saw the shooter? He's like 3
From
feet
you to
from
me
the
away, he's just coming at me with the gun. Jumped over to the side.
He jumped behind me.
Well, I give him credit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, good. of this. Since we can't get into there, I'm going to check through the other door. Blue coming out. Yep. You have medics. Rescue team. Set your left.
Okay.
Tonight responding 921 North Avenue.
Bring up real.
Yes, great.
Has all this been cleared?
Yes. Unlock.
Good.
I got another door for it.
Police department, if you're in here, come out with your hands up.
Yeah, I need another one.
Got a few doors on the left.
You got long range?
Yep.
This is that classroom. It's open.
Okay.
Let's clear it still.
Got it. Oh, sorry, my bad.
Yeah. Let's go.
Can it open up? So it opens up to the left.
There's a big room right to the
We got a room to the right too. Let me check it.
Check that door.
Locked.
Alright.
I can't see in there. You got an open room there. Check it real quick. I'll quick peek.
I can get most of it. There's somebody injured right there to your left.
Where at?
Down?
There's some blood there. I don't know if he's okay.
Is that open? Oh, we cleared that.
It's open.
We cleared through that.
Oh, there, I'll hold this.
Okay. Okay. Ready? Yep.
I got two down.
Help.
Yeah, we cleared.
Help.
Have you seen the shooter?
No.
What happened?
I can't move.
Okay, what's wrong?
I can't move my arm and my leg.
All right. Where did they go?
I don't know. I
We
didn't
got two down in between.
You didn't see anything?
No.
All right. I'm gonna check that door.
622 is the room across from it.
By 622.
Room 615.
Or that.
Or that.
Check that door.
Ready?
Yeah.
Lock. Lock. Got another one down. Got another one down over there.
New gym far south end.
Alright, stand by. I'm gonna clear this. And we're gonna make our way through that.
We got shots fired at the new gym.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get us there. I don't know this area.
That's where you cleared it.
No, we didn't clear the new gym. I told you we cleared the old gym.
The new gym is like.
You go check this.
Back that way.
Locked. Locked.
What do you got?
They're all locked. I'm just checking. Locked. Locked. Good. That's always clear. That's where we came.
Okay. Where are you injured?
My arm.
Just your arm? Can you walk?
No, I can't move.
Can you walk?
No, I can't feel it.
Can you walk?
I'm not gonna but I need help to walk.
Okay, you're gonna have to give just a second. We have other people coming in, okay?
Okay.
You didn't see where the shooter went at all?
No.
How long ago did it happen, do you know?
421.
Was it one or two?
There was one.
There's just one? What was he wearing?
We've got 3 down. They are
Okay.
It just,
in ambulatory. Over here by 650. Lock. Lock.
You got two, right?
Got a light on over there. He's open.
You're poisoned.
Door's open.
Okay.
Which one do you want? Big room, big room.
We're going in.
All right. Come on.
All right. Hey, blue.
I'm just holding it.
Blue.
Okay, we got a set of bathrooms right here, you're right, and then we've got another small room, and then down this hallway it opens up, looks like a cafeteria, and then we got one straight ahead of us, so there's quite a few here.
421's going back to 447 to finish the clearing this side of it. Did you clear behind this office?
Yeah, it looks, yeah, it's, I think the door's locked. I haven't checked
Check
anything.
that door real quick. Bathrooms? Male?
Yep.
You want to hit female?
Juan, this door, this is a break room by him, and it goes, looks like it goes through to the cafeteria. It's a big cafeteria on the other side here.
Is it being cleared, that cafeteria?
No, I just walked in the door.
You want to hold that and I'll go in with that?
Yep.
447, 45, checking.
Stand by, we'll check on the calls.
It looks like there's 4 rooms down here that need cleared. I don't know if those are hallways or not, Juan. What's that? Down here, this hasn't been, not that I know, has been secured, and it looks like, I don't know if that's a hallway going north and south, or there's just more big rooms.
All right, let's wait till we get over here. Okay, all is all in. Wait for people to come in.
We'll come back for you.
Open door left, open door left.
Got a closed door too.
Let me check the door.
Let me step up with you. Hold that. AJ, ready? I'm going in.
Okay.
You want to hold it across the hall when we
Yep, go.
go?
Going right.
Go ahead and move over and check. Is that
It's
open?
locked. What?
Okay, go ahead and move over and check that one.
Locked.
All right. Moving down the hall. Got door right.
Open door, open door, open door. I got most of the room clear. Can't get
Just
this
that.
corner, I can't get that corner.
Got it,
You
going.
guys wanna hit it?
Ready? Move it.
Go.
Going out. Coming to you.
Clear?
Good?
It's clear.
Clear.
An incident commander is established as immediate as possible. So as soon as we get our first unit on scene, or maybe they're setting up an incident command away from the scene, which is pretty traditional, that incident commander then will take lead for the whole scene. So no matter who comes in, no matter what agency comes in, and we practice with that quite a bit even on regular scenes where an accident scene or a house fire scene, there's usually several agencies that don't normally work together on a daily basis, so they get a little bit of practice on that. But that just gives us even more practice with an incident command. This time it was Marshalltown Instant Command because they were the first called. But it may be, in a smaller city, if this would happen at East Marshall, let's say, and LeGrand, maybe Instant Command, Marshalltown can come and play underneath them. Just because it's a larger agency doesn't mean that it's going to be the larger agency that's playing Instant Command.
We've cleared all the way up through here, right?
Right.
Yes.
So this building now is clear. So we should address the victims at this point.
And they're on their way there now.
Okay.
Okay.
But I think it sounds like they're coming in 6. Is that down there?
Sure.
I think it goes 6, 9, 11.
Let's,
422, go ahead. Can you advise me to get the victim? Under 3, we only need help one side.
Okay.
That's
Let's check them.
Command, sir.
What do we have? Where do you hit? Your left arm? Is that the only place you hit? Okay. You have a sheet? Okay. Applying pressure to both of these.
What do you got, Kurt?
He's down, he's down.
One in the 600. One in the 600.
Shots fired, one down.
All right, you got it covered. I got it.
Shots fired, one down.
You all right?
I'm good.
you hit? Anybody else hit?
No.
You guys said this was clear.
Yeah, there's a bunch of locked doors that he's probably behind. You gonna watch M22 with him?
Yep. You need cuffs? You have cuffs, or are we not cuffed?
He's sending it. He's down.
He's dead?
I just need pressure dressings on her put on.
Dead, yes?
One that can't walk, we got one.
Dead?
One that can walk.
Okay.
411.
He's dead.
Fired in the hallway. Thanks for the hard 600.
Okay. All right, good. We'll drag her. This one can walk.
Ma'am, are you able to walk?
No.
No? Are you hitting the leg?
I think so.
What's that?
I think so.
You think so? Okay. How many do you gonna have to use your red sheet? Yeah. You have 2? Or just 1?
I'm not moving.
One on the sheet, one can walk.
He's cut too.
Take your one that can walk and the other one on the sheet.
That's where we
Down
just-
that way, back out the southeast door at that hallway.
All right.
I don't know if that's
Can one of you guys help me drag her out?
Yeah.
Is there anybody that can
Yep. Where do you guys want to, where do you want to go?
ladder 3, engine 1?
Which door should we go?
Go ahead and go under all.
Just your arm.
I'll go in.
That's, this is the way it's gonna have to be, sorry.
Are you able to walk?
I don't know, I couldn't
No,
tell.
could you grab her up there?
Hey, Kurt, we're gonna need help dragging her.
This side.
We're gonna need help.
You're gonna need help?
Yeah.
Can you take her?
What's that? Yeah, if we can get more people. Go ahead and go, we're coming out behind you.
Stay with me.
He's secure and dead, is
It's
what I
the
was
west wing, we're gonna be coming out of the southeast door, the west wing.
Okay, you good?
Okay, so let's get 2 people, 1 on each shoulder, and then 2 down here at the end. We'll just carry her out in a sitting position.
In sitting position.
Best we can. You can put your arms around our necks when we get out. That'd be best.
1, 2, 3.
Maybe?
This is all clear, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Just take it in my hand. Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry, support most weight. Put it on your belt. Thank you. Now we're coming out.
Have they started doing secondaries back through there? No, I'm asking if there is people doing that.
afterwards. We have evaluators during the exercise. They're also volunteers. They evaluate an area that they're familiar with, so maybe an EMT is evaluating the EMS portion, a fireman assessing the fire portion, and they take a lot of notes. When we go back to those notes, we see, did that meet what we planned on meeting? Or does that fit into the plan we already have written, or do we need to tweak our plans to update those to see that they're better next time?
All the victims are out of here.
Yes.
We're gonna call it.
Okay.
File, index. Index!
Body cams off.
We're going to start, we're going to do a quick debrief. We're going to talk about how things went. We're going to start with some volunteers and observers and things like that. Once we're done, those people will be released. We're going to have our own individual briefings. And then for all first responders here, I'd like to take just like 30 minutes of our time and just walk through a couple things that I noticed. And things, since it's hard to get this big of a group together, so things that we can do with this big of a group. I just want to introduce a couple things. Some may be refresher for some of you, some may be new. But I just want to talk about a couple things that I saw that we did, so we can take like 20, 30 minutes at the end of this just to get together, walk through a couple things, then we'll be out of here. Okay?
First, I want to thank everybody. It's hot, and a lot of you volunteering your time, but even if you're paid today, it's hot. And I appreciate you taking the time, so much appreciated. It's hard to get this many people together, and we really didn't have that much trouble getting people together. Had a lot of volunteers step up from the college, and can't say thanks enough because it works so much better with big groups. So just first off, I just wanted to, and you guys can just raise your hand and let me know if you have anything special that you saw as a volunteer and actor. I'll do the observers next, but any of the actors have anything that they would like to compliment or comment on? Anything that you saw might have worked really well or not so well? That's a lot.
Everybody go at once.
Again, I know it's kind of overwhelming as a volunteer if you haven't done this before. It's kind of overwhelming to know what all was going on, but I didn't hear any complaints about you guys playing your role, so I guess you did a good job, and I really appreciate that again. So, the observers from the college, observations that you made that you'd like us to know about? And I'm going to ask the observers too, any of the college staff, to email me. So if you don't have my email address, let me know afterwards or before you leave. But email me some comments, because sometimes you don't want to say it out loud, and that's okay. You can email those to me, and we'll put them in our after-action report. That helps the college, and it helps us to know where we were lacking or where you'd like to work on some things. So it helps with planning.
Did they ever find the person? Do we know if they're still there? All right. I will tell you that that can happen. I'm glad you pointed that out, and that's something that's a reminder for us to do that. We're moving fast, and we're playing the odds in some of these, and most of the time they're not hiding in these positions. They're out trying to make it happen, as many deaths as they can get. So we're playing the odds, and we're really kind of pushing through fast. So to say that we couldn't miss somebody that's hiding in a place like this, it's gonna probably happen. Reality is it probably is gonna happen. So what you saw today was our initial quick response. If we were to let this thing play out in a real life scenario, we probably would have went back to every room at least one more time, if not two more times, once we got enough people to do it. So I do appreciate that, but it can happen, unfortunately. And keep in mind, if you're in this situation and you're just a random person, you're gonna probably hide yourself in somewhere that nobody can find. I mean, you don't wanna be found, that's kind of the goal. So again, that can happen when they are hiding like that, but it's still a valid point. It's something we need to think about. Go ahead. Yeah.
How do you deal with locked doors in a real situation?
Good question. Locked doors in a general situation, we're going to bypass them right away because again, we're playing the odds. We're trying to get to the shooter. We're going to come into the room eventually. And that's what I said is that we still had hours worth of work in this building in a real scenario. We still had hours. So like I said, this was a fairly condensed version of what we're going to do, but we're still in our initial, I would call this still an initial response. We would still have a lot of time left to absolutely say that everything was good to go in this building. Same thing, we're looking for victims that have squirreled away into small cubby holes or people still hiding, and
You know, we would get into it eventually, but not right away. You weren't monitoring, obviously, the police radio, but incident command actually called and requested keys to get into locker rooms from the, so that was a thought process that was already happening, we just didn't actually play it out. I thought overall, and I haven't said this yet, but I thought everybody did a really good job. I'm not just saying that. Everybody here that's worked with me knows if I don't like something, I'll tell you that I don't like it, we'll talk about it because I want to improve. But overall, I thought everybody did a very good job. I thought the communication, given that we know that's going to be an issue, I thought the communication was good. That's something that I noted too, was that in their defense, it's really hard to keep track of it. If you don't know the building, it's hard to keep track of exactly what people are talking about. But I saw some of that too, where a group's already went through and cleared something, and then a couple more people come through and they're already double clear and all that stuff. That's not a bad thing necessarily, but it comes down to communication. Is do we know who's done what and what people need to do? But overall, I thought that was good. We try to do good also, I'll tell you, we try to do good about getting out to buildings, but I encourage officers, fire EMS, if you get a chance to tour some of these places. Our student resource officer, Whitmore, he's been trying to get day shift people out from high school to tour on a regular basis because you need to be intimately familiar with some of these buildings. Obviously, we can't do every single building in the jurisdiction, but there are some big ones we should be, and I think the college is one. So I think that's a very good point, and I appreciate that comment. It's good when you guys are coming in, when law enforcement's coming in, EMS doesn't really make any difference. You come in and you announce yourself. Make it clear to them what you're doing, what your intentions are. Anybody in here, I heard this a couple times, anybody in here that can walk to me, come over here right now. It's a way for you to do a real quick triage. EMS, you guys do that at all? If you can hear my voice and walk to me right now. That eliminates however many people walk to you. You no longer have to evaluate them because you can automatically put them into a category. If they're able to walk, they're in this certain category. So those are things that you can do. Clear directions, clear talking. I thought people did a really good job with that once we had contact with people. Go ahead, Robin.
I'm Robin Lillienthal from the college, and I thought that this is a good time to make the comment to all of you how much we appreciate the partnership that you all showed in coming here to do this training exercise. We certainly had a lot of volunteers from the college because it's a passionate issue for us. We know it's a passionate issue for you. It's the kind of thing that keeps us awake at night, and to have this partnership and this opportunity, we really, really appreciate it and hope that we can continue to have a wonderful relationship like we've had with all the different agencies and services and things and that sort of thing. So I think the college people might want to give a round of applause to all of you.
Some of the things we did today, just so you know, were extremely exaggerated on what's going to happen. The average active shooter incident is lasting like 5 to 7 minutes. So 5 to 7 minutes, the shooting's done, everything else is done. The rest is just aftermath stuff, cleaning up, doing all this other stuff. What we did today is we're spreading people all the way out. A lot of the people, if you were in those wings, you probably would have just ran out of the building. Absolutely, that's what we want. But for the sake of keeping officers and EMS and everybody else involved in this, we needed them to eventually run into people and keep seeing people and kind of lighten it back up. The same reason we would reinsert the shooter into there, that's not realistic at all. You're not generally going to have a shooting and then 30 minutes later another one pops out. That's not realistic, but what we're trying to do is keep everybody engaged into the scenario. So the role players and especially the ones that got stuck in this position for a couple hours, we definitely appreciate that. So.
Well, I think mostly what we've talked about is ways that we can continue to collaborate. We've had such a great relationship with the Marshalltown Police Department over the years, super supportive, training our faculty and students about all kinds of different things. And this was just another example of how wonderful our relationship has been.
I would foresee us doing something again like this in the future so that we can see what our training's done to help us proceed. And it's just kind of a continuous process that we go through. We train people on individual skills and individual things in both fields, in law enforcement and in the medical profession. We train in individual skills, but then we try to do these real life scenarios to try to test and evaluate those skills. And then once we find out what issues we had, we go back and retrain on those skills in those places where we had issues. And again, ultimately, we are trying to set ourselves up so that if a major incident would happen, the agencies would be able to work together. They would have the experience in doing that, and it's just kind of a lasting memory for them of this training scenario, so that when the real thing happens, we can just kind of seamlessly go into it and start working together.
We've had one brief meeting the next day right away to do some initial reactions to what we observed, and then we'll be studying the results of those notes over the course of the next year to see what kinds of things need to be put into play for us.
We'll work another probably year on what we need to improve, and each department and each city will go through and see what they need to do, whether it be training, whether it be equipment that they need because they saw a lack in that, or whether it just be working with the agencies and like the college in this case again, to see where they need to help with planning.